you made the point that he could be looking to cut a deal. Do you believe that there is still space where Mr. Khan is cut down to size, and emerges as one more civilian political force in Pakistan that will survive only with the blessings of the Pakistani army?
I mean, it depends. That's $1 million question, right? It all depends on what Imran Khan does, what his party does. But I would say that, I mean, the number of red lines that the PTI has crossed or Imran Khan has crossed in the past few months, and red lines not just in the eyes of the military, but also in terms of neutral observers, in terms of the attacks on buildings, in terms of being militant. It reminds me of how the MQM was in Karachi once upon a time, the MQM of old. And we're seeing PTI take on this face that a lot of people wouldn't really be happy with. And in terms of, discussing this whole Machiavellian plot, and what we forget is what else could we have expected, right? In terms of if there's an attack on the Corps Commander House or in GHQ, you'd have soldiers taking guns and shooting at people. I mean, the analogy I would draw would be to the US Capitol attack under Trump. The police just stood there and let them do it. What else? What? It's not that easy to control such emotions in such a charged atmosphere. At the same time, the legal battles that Imran Khan faces, they're not cooked. It's not like they're cooked up. Like this case in the NAB, it's pretty clear that something wrong happened there, where the United Kingdom returned money which was confiscated from a property tycoon, Malik Riaz, saying that it was unexplained wealth, which was supposed to go to the government of Pakistan, but was returned to Malik Riaz by depositing it in the Supreme Court account. And the NAB actually upgraded this inquiry to an investigation, and it's going to be trouble for Imran Khan either way. So unless there is some sort of deal, but he does not seem to be going on the path that will get him that deal anytime soon.
Yeah. So we have the headline up of the Pakistani Army press statement, May 9th to go down as a dark chapter in Pakistan's history. The news in Pakistan now headlining that statement, what the enemy could not do in 75 years, was done by a political cloaked group in lust for power. I think this is a rough translation, perhaps from the Urdu. General Kulkarni, I'm going to start taking last comments, so please keep your comments brief, all of you. General Kulkarni, other military veterans have expressed some concern that the one thing that could unify divided, troubled Pakistan right now is heating up the line of control or elsewhere in India. Are you concerned?
Definitely, we ought to be careful. We ought to be vigilant, because all said and done, I understand within the Pak Army also, those colonels and below may not be seeing eye to eye, because Imran Khan has a good standing and popularity. Of course, sooner or later, everybody would know that everybody is almost on the, when it comes to corruption, everybody seems to be having a pie of it in a very big way in Pakistan. Some may be having a little less, some little more, but definitely there is something wrong with it. But as a neighbor, we ought to be concerned. We must ensure that no way our LOC must be protected and guarded. No way they should be spillover either on the terrorists or the people from the other side. And hopefully, but there will be stability coming soon in Pakistan, with Pak Army, as I see, in about, say, another 24 to 48 hours, taking control of Pakistan. Yeah.
Very, very, some might call all of us counterintuitive, but we're really going against the grain in our analysis. But I think the next 2-3 days will prove perhaps all of you experts right. I already see today as being a day of more control than yesterday. It's already shifted in 24 hours. Ambassador Kaju, does it give you a sense of deja vu? You remember when Osama bin Laden was taken out by the Americans and Yusuf Ali Gilani of the PPP, then Prime Minister said, the ISI is a state within a state. And everybody said, this is the Pakistan military's weakest moment. Exactly those kind of remarks were repeated in the last 24 hours. Clearly, you think it's anything but.
No, I'm convinced that General Asim Munir is turning out to be a consummate politician. He's played his cards extremely well. I'll tell you, Barkha, allow me just 30 seconds. Yesterday, as I was seeing things, the thing which really struck me with great force was the fact that the Corps Commander's house, even if there was no one inside, and the General Headquarters was not surrounded with troops to guard. Normally, in such a situation, as a former civil servant, and General Kulkarni is here, and Aisha ji has had experience, the first instinct is to reinforce forces in the main symbols of state. But clearly, Asim Munir wanted the Pakistan people to see, and the aim was to be able to issue the kind of statement which was issued today. And you see the clarity of the statement.
Yeah.
And anyone who feels that the army will do a deal with Imran, I think is wrong, because that moment has passed. I felt that that moment passed the day, and I've been saying this from that very day, the day uh, Bajwa felt that the that Imran was trying to interfere with the army because of the Faiz Hamid episode. At
Yeah.
that time, I thought to myself that now the rupture is there. What is surprising is that Imran was digging his heels in, and it's quite true, and I entirely agree with Aisha. In fact, I can say this. One Pakistani friend told me, and Aisha ji and our Pakistani colleague will tell me if this is right or wrong, but one Pakistani colleague told me, he said, you know, Vivek, this has Imran Khan phenomena has ruptured old friendships. It has brought about disunity in families. People have stopped talking to each other. So this was the force of Imran Khan. Quite clearly, he's a phenomenon. And so for the army to seek to really come to grips with it required a great deal of doing. And if you see from November onwards, from the time Asim Munir took over to now, it's more than 5 months.
Yeah.
He has played his cards quietly, shrewdly, and carefully.
Very
And
interesting.
I must say that to my mind, he is proving to be a far more competent, quote unquote, politico than one had thought he was, because one didn't know much about him.
Yeah, he kept a low profile, unlike General Bajwa, certainly relatively so from an Indian perspective. Dr. Sadiqa, the last word to you. I must connect the dots with the recent controversy around former Pakistan Army Chief General Bajwa, who purportedly told journalists off the record that Pakistan was broke, peace had to be made with India. Since then, we've seen, from an Indian point of view, the debacle of Bilawal Bhutto's visit to India. From a Pakistani point of view, Bilawal Bhutto does well. There are murmurs of his aspirations to wanting to be prime minister. We're here picking up all of this. If you had to join the dots between all of these developments, how would you join them?
Even before joining these dots, let me get back to what Ambassador Kaju was saying and say something. See, yes, the army chief has played a sharp game. Let's not forget that Imran Khan phenomena is not independent of the military itself. Military had created an environment and a character which was supposed to create this other ideology of an alternative Pakistan, cleaner of corruption, better, with a better narrative around the world. Imran Khan was supposed to build that. He didn't build it. Now, unfortunately, the problem is that people who are burning down government property, but also who are ready to vote for him, I would kind of stick my neck out and say that there are far more greater number of people who would be ready today. They've already made a hero of Imran Khan, a bigger hero of Imran Khan. You hold fair elections today in Pakistan, he's still going to win.
Yeah.
He's going to gain from this arrest.
Sure, but you're saying he won't be allowed to contest those elections, basically.
So I'm saying that I'm not sticking my neck out for the next elections to be free and fair.
Yeah.
I'm not sticking my neck out and saying that they will really allow him to kind of get back through electoral politics.